During my college years, I fell in love with a summer camp. It's in Vermont, an overnight camp down a long dirt road up the side of a mountain into the middle of nowhere, where I met my best friends in the world. And in the summer, it's full of songs and forts and epic dance parties. So when I have the opportunity to be the director of this camp, I take it. This time, with a new baby under my arm, we go down this dirt road. It turns out that it's more fun to be a director than a counselor. I get to pick the staff and pick where the money and the budget's going and write grants for things that I care deeply about, like connecting with local farmers and local food. And I work with cooks who are just as excited about fresh eggs and heirloom tomatoes and real maple syrup on campers' plates. What I think is most special about camp is that it exists to create community, to spark joy and curiosity, to connect with people, to connect with nature, to live in a place where you can feel safe to take risks and challenge yourself and grow. To me, this is the essence of life. It's what I wish that every day, everywhere prioritized. 4 years later, my younger child is born, and we find ourselves in the intensive care unit and learn that she has a rare genetic disorder, a constellation of medical issues, developmental delays, autism. And so I quit my job, which is common for people who have complex kids to do because they need somebody to care for them. She has appointments and surgeries and therapies and prolonged illnesses. But despite all this, she is fun and funny and doesn't want to miss out on anything. And she ends up at this wonderful elementary school where they embrace her and they include her in all the things, which makes going to middle school really hard because she's immediately separated from the only friends she's ever had. She's segregated into a special room. And it's made clear to her that she is different and that she is no longer going to be able to participate in all the things. And this makes her angry, and it makes her anxious, and it makes her isolated. And she stops going to school because school is no longer a safe place for her to be. And this now makes me angry and anxious and isolated. And just as we're starting to meet with the district and try and figure out ways of how to make school accessible to her, COVID happens. And for a moment, I'm relieved because now nobody goes to school and everybody is angry and anxious and isolated. But again, for us, we're okay. We have a homestead and a budding flower farm, and she's by my side all the time, doing all the things, and she really likes a task, something with a clear beginning and a clear end, something that can be crossed off a list. So we're making lists, and we're crossing things off, and we're starting seeds, and we're prepping beds, and we're tending to the chickens. And the weeks go by, and the months go by, and the years go by, and suddenly it's time to go back to school, and now it's time for high school. And it's a new, big, unfamiliar building with big, unfamiliar mask faces, and it's not going very well. And I'm getting calls on most days at 11 o'clock to come pick her up. And on this particular day, I'm getting a call at 11 o'clock because for the third time that morning, she has ripped up the worksheet that they put in front of her and balled it into a ball and chucked it at the kid sitting next to her. She's received 3 little hash marks for disruptive and aggressive behavior, and they're escorting her out of the building, and I'm picking her up, and she's mad, and she just wants to go home and get in bed and sleep for the rest of the day until dinner time. And I don't feel good about myself because I've dedicated my life to her well-being and her happiness. And the school is now pointing their fingers at me, questioning my competence as a parent. And it's time for us to look for something else. But there isn't something else. And I remember a friend of mine telling me about Prospect Meadow Farm in Western Mass that is staffed by people with intellectual disabilities. And they have a farm share and vegetables and animals and eggs and mushrooms. And I contact the director of the program and he says, well, we've never had kids work here before. But he says, let's give it a try. So we go. On the first day, she's there for 5 minutes. On the second day, she's there for 10. And the goats are very welcoming to her. And by the end of the week, I'm getting a message from the program director. And she is so encouraging. And she says, oh, she stayed for 20 minutes today. And she came in to the building and she read through the list of chores and it was great. And so by the summertime, she's going every day, every morning for several hours with a smile on her face, with pride. And by Brussels sprout season, I get another message from the program director. And this time it says that she has picked a Brussels sprout off the stalk and chucked it at the person working next to her. And this person laughs, picks up the Brussels sprout, throws it back at her, which causes her to laugh, which gives the program director the opportunity to hear what the sound of her laugh is like. And she thinks it's important for me to know that, which totally gives me camp vibes. And as she approaches adulthood and I approach my 50s, I can't help but long for camp. And I can't help but wonder if I could create camp at my farm. And in my life right now, I'm just looking for others who want to help me make that dream come true. Thank you.